we can start. Let me see many members we have. So, Victor and Eugene, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, but I'm turning on my machine.
Okay. Just confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Karibuni sana. My name is Makini, and I'm so glad to have this meeting. I'll want somebody from the audience to say something. I can see Ron Collins. Please say hi.
Hi. It's good to be here, and I'm excited for the meeting.
Karibu sana. Someone else, I can see there's let me see. There's Maimuna. Maimuna, please say hi. Okay, we can have someone else. Wambui, please say hi so that I know that we are together.
Hi everyone.
Hi, karibu sana. Okay. So as I said, my name is Makini, and this is AMSUN CODE COMMUNITY. The story behind this community is not too long. I wrote the concept note and the program and the plan for the community for almost a year, and we launched it this year, I think early this year. And so today what we are doing is picking up from where we left. I understand we have a Discord community where we talk, but members are not active. So we want to revive that one. And also the agenda for today is to share about AMSUN CODE COMMUNITY. We'll talk about opportunities for you coding as a medical student. And also one of us will teach us the basics, and another one will share about VS Code, GitHub, and how to use Discord. So it's going to be, we are trying to be as brief as possible so that by at least 3:30 we are done, because I understand people want to go watch the derby. So AMSUN CODE COMMUNITY, our tagline is where the doctor builds software, drawn from GitHub, where the world builds software. And so the key takeaways from this presentation is that why a community, why software as a medical student, a glimpse of coding, and the introduction to we have mentors, and a few motivation to code. So we have coding students, we have people who do a lot of stuff, but we don't have a community where we can share and talk, and a channel where to have guidance. And also we want to bring the energy within us through having a community. For example, if I know I am aware of an opportunity, I should share it with people. The only journey is the journey within. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And then don't let the struggle become your identity. These are my taglines for coding when I try to code, because sometimes it gets hectic. So why coding in medical school? The doctor can be very, very valuable in improving research, telemedicine, learning simulations, explore diverse opportunities.
Makini ni kama tumekupoteza kiasi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, si mimi pekee. Okay.
Let me try reach him.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. What did we? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go back to the slide before this one.
This one.
And the other one?
Okay. This one.
Yeah. This is where you lost us.
Okay. Sorry. Confirm that you can hear me and you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. So I was saying, why do we code in medical school? Is that the doctor can be very valuable in improving research, telemedicine, and learning simulations, and explore diverse opportunities. And the research I'm talking about is, medical research, especially in diseases, epidemics. So how do we collect data using algorithms that we can create as doctors? Just to be sure that my slides are moving.
Yeah, they are moving.
Okay, so amazing. So where do we start? We start now, and there's no better way of starting. You just get your laptop and start. And there are two ways, two paths you can take as a medical student: software or data science. Data science involves collecting data, analyzing data for the benefit of medicine and other faculties. Software is now building the algorithms, the websites, the applications that can help improve medicine. And also, if you are motivated to get a lot of money, 75% of highest paying jobs are software jobs. And I was sharing the story in the group about my friend who quit medicine while we were in fourth year, and now he joins a company. He's self-taught programmer, and now he's earning more than even a consultant at KNH. But money should not be the motivation at the end of the day. So hologram is one of the things developed by Microsoft to enable to improve medical learning. It's a simulation using a holoscope lens, whereby you wear the VR lenses and learning is simulated. And then there's a coding cycle, whereby you identify the problem, you analyze, you develop the algorithm, you code and document, you test, and then you maintain. So it's a process. You're not going to wake up in the morning and write hello world and boom, you are a software engineer. But consistency matters. So it's better to code for 30 minutes each day than code for 8 hours a day or once a week. So like for me, I make sure every day 30 minutes into coding every single day. So consistency is key. Just also to be sure, how my slides moving and can you guys hear me?
Yes, slides are moving.
Thank you. So successful students are consistent, that's for sure. 7 years in medical school, I can testify to that. Consistent in anything you do. It's not about the junks you walk into library and read 39 pages of Ganong. No, just one page of Ganong each day repeatedly. So nailing down a schedule, do it over and over, ask even is vague. And then the great software engineers Google. So there's a course on how to Google. I think it was one of my first courses I took in software, how to Google. So Google is your best friend. You can consider taking a short course on how to Google found on Udemy. So I've worked with very big software engineers, and they spend 75 of the time coding, Googling. Yeah. So you make the most out of the internet. There are social media channels. There is YouTube. There is Stack Overflow, my best buddy. Sometimes we copy code from Stack Overflow and we use it directly. There's Reddit, which was my first community, and also Google. So in some ways, programming is like painting. You start with a blank canvas and certain basic raw materials. You use a combination of science, art, and craft to determine what to do with them. And then these are our mentors. This is Dr. Gishoya. If you can see my pointer. She's in US. She's also a data scientist. This is Dr. Mandela, also in Kenya. He quit medicine after internship. He's now a full-time software engineer at Bion 8. This is Kimera from Uganda, also a doctor, but also a very enthusiastic researcher in software. He has 2 companies. This is what's the name of? This is Dr. Muvie. He's also Kenyan but lives in the US. He has a software company. He's also a doctor. This is Anila. She's a software engineer, also a mentor for the community. This is Colin, the guy I was talking about who quit medicine to explore software. So they are within reach. They respond immediately if contacted. So we are going to improve the relationship with our mentors. So be active in the community. Let people feel your presence. That's how you learn. Share your craft. And unlike medical school, software is open sharing. Medical school, people will go to the library to study alone, groups, study groups. But in software, people talk about everything and anything. You share anything because no one steals from you. There's no competition in software. If your thing is amazing, it's amazing till stand out. So create an online presence. Tell people your story. For example, when I was applying for any software job, they usually ask you for your Facebook or Instagram or Twitter account. And mostly they want to check out if you've been talking about software in those channels. So that's also an add-on. So instead of, sometimes, yes, you can post our good friends and everything, our good times, but also at least some point, talk about your software journey. So these are movies to inspire you to code. My favorite was Mr. Robot, the Silicon Valley, and also the internships, Norden, social network. There are many. I can share these presentations. But this one is amazing, the mind behind Linux. You'll want to also see how Linus Torvalds thinks. Okay. Also, these are more movies. And then we have the Discord channel for the community whereby Eugene will talk about it. And I think, yeah, that's it for the community. And the goal is to help us grow. And yeah, we can make the world a better place. Thank you. I'll move on to the next presentation, which will be very quick. Eugene, please confirm you can see my slides.
Yeah, I can see them.
Okay. So I'm a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador at University of Nairobi. I applied in 50, I think. So this one opportunity that really exposes you to many things. The benefits are so many. So we shall see as time goes. My slide's moving. Eugene?
Yeah, they are.
Thank you. So I'll just talk about the Learn Student Ambassador program. I saw it, I think, online, and then I applied. So you apply and then you do like sort of a virtual interview where you send your video saying who you are, what you're interested in. And then when you're accepted, is then you have levels that you grow into. So there's alpha, beta, and gold. So I'm currently in beta working for my gold level. So how do we join? The website is there, like this one. So you just go and apply now. Just click there. And then now the good thing, since I'm a member of this community, and if students from my school, especially the ones present here, or any other school, or my audience wants to join, I can give them like I can be their referee through Microsoft, so I can recommend them. So it's easier to get in. So I'm encouraging you guys, if you can apply, that would be amazing. And then also our tagline is be a force for good. We are trying to be a force for good for the community. So you might find yourself helping fellow students build their coding skills online with Microsoft Learn, organizing a virtual hackathon to solve real-world challenges, earning certifications, or building digital communities. It's all up to you. And then why should you apply? So to make a difference with students from around the world, grow your skills and build your reputation as a tech insider, become a leader in your local tech community, and empower your peers. So the benefits, there are 3 levels. Eugene, please confirm that my slides are moving and you can hear me.
Yeah, your slides are moving.
Thank you. So the first one you start is alpha. So all you need to do in the first phase is just complete a learning path, and also that's one learning path. So you get $150 monthly Azure credits, a Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, MTC certification exam voucher, a studentsambassador.com domain, and TextMeet, Snagit, and Camtasia software. So these are software for creating slides, videos, the nice videos you see online. So after that, you go to beta level, which I am. So you enjoy all alpha benefits, and then you get a swag kit, which is sent from US, a package with Microsoft products, branded products, and event support. They help you, they support your event. Like for example, this event is supported by Microsoft. And then mentorship and access to Ambassador Summit. And then you go to gold, which I'm hoping to get into. So alpha and beta levels, you access special events, program leadership opportunities, participate in pilot program, MVP, and many things. One thing I really appreciate about Microsoft is that they've given me all their products for free. So I can access from Word to everything. There are over 350 software applications for Microsoft. So I can access them freely. Name it, that's my exposure. And then the good thing about it is that I can share it with people. So if you want something, you can let me know. And then I've also access to LinkedIn Learning free, all courses on LinkedIn, even the paid ones for free. I've also access to all Microsoft courses for free. There are many things. And then there's a wonderful community of people out here. So these are, student ambassadors. We have one Kenyan here, and and then one thing. So this is my profile. This is the time I was in alpha, so the slides are a bit kitambo kidogo, and then the idea is to apply now. Yeah, so I think I'm done. If you have any questions, you can please note them down. I'll let Eugene take over. Who's going first? I think Eugene. Yeah, Eugene will take over for his presentation, and then we can take questions later. Thank you, and glad to have you on board. Asanteni sana.
Oh, thanks for the presentation. I hope if anyone has a question, just you can type it in the chat, or you can wait until the end to ask any of us. I'm going to share my screen now.
As Eugene is sharing his screen, I can mention something that even during my application for internship, and when I went for the interviews, I think when I just mentioned that maybe I do software, that was it. The conversation took that turn. We didn't talk about medicine, medical school. Everything shifted to, hey, you're doing software, why? And how is this benefiting you? What have you done? The projects I've done and all that. So I think people are looking for students who explore outside their, the comfort zone of medical school, cramming, hey, uko na diabetes, uko na hypertension, those things we've programmed to learn in medical school. Yeah, so I'll talk about the benefits as time goes. So Eugene, please take over. Thank you.
Thanks. My name is Eugene Wechuli. I am in 4th year, currently level 4. On the side, I also try a bit of coding. I joined a certain learning path by the Africa Leadership University, learning software development. It's going well. It's tough, but we're handling it well. So I'm going to maybe introduce some of us to GitHub as a platform, and then Discord, where we plan to do most of our communication, so that we don't keep relying on WhatsApp, and make sure that some of us are active. These are my objectives for this afternoon: to introduce you to GitHub and how to use it, how it is important to you as a software developer, and how we are going to be using Discord in the community. So basically, GitHub is something you need to be familiar with as a software developer. Basically, it is a platform where you can create folders. You work on a project, you display your project, you collaborate with other developers, you store them so that you might lose your work remotely on your laptop, for example. It crashes or you experience a laptop spill, but you can still access all your projects, everything you've been working on. You can just upload them to GitHub. It's very user friendly, and in order to do that, you can do it directly from the website, the GitHub website, or you can use Git. Git allows you to make sure your work locally and on the website is up to date. You can do a lot of things with Git. I'm going to introduce you to that in a few minutes. First of all, with GitHub, you need to create an account, just like any other online platform. You just need a working email, and then maybe a username of your choice. And then once you get to GitHub, the link is there, github.com. After you create your profile, you might want to start working on your first project. So for this presentation, I just did a short version of a repository, where a repository is basically the name of your project. You will be creating a folder, either online, or either on the website or locally on your laptop, and then you'll have a name. Let's say, for example, you decide to be one of the people who are going to create a website, for example, for this community. So you create a folder, you name it AMSUN Code Community website, and then you create it on GitHub and on your local machine. So inside the folder or the repository, all the files you'll be working on, either by yourself or with your team, they'll be stored there. So after clicking on that a new repository sign, let me try find the pointer. Yeah. After clicking on new repository, you will okay, just a minute. Yeah, you will need to create a name, and for this is very basic for every software developer, that punctuation is actually very important. A capital letter and a small letter make a very big difference in terms of creating your files, everything you're going to be working with. A full stop, a hyphen, underscore, everything is going to make a difference. For example, in this presentation, I used hello world. It's usually the most common introductory for every language you're trying to learn. You will try to print, for example, hello world on your screen as your first project. So this is the repository I created. You make sure the punctuation is okay, because if you type hello world with the space in between, most probably you're going to be creating a different thing. If it is locally on your machine, you might end up creating two folders, especially if you're working with the terminal. You can choose the visibility of your repository. If you want to work on it privately, that's okay. You can do it while you're creating the repository. And then you actually need this README file. So the README file is very, very important in telling other people what you're working on. For example, in my case, I'm not creating this. I have not created this file locally on my machine. I'm assuming that I'm on the GitHub website. I'm trying to create Hello World. I don't have the README file locally, so I'll let GitHub create one for me. Maybe I'll add a README file there and then create the file. But if you already have the files on your computer, you just skip this part and then you go to creating the repository, and then you can now upload the files after some time. And this is where Git comes in, the one I mentioned, because it allows you to keep your local work and the one that is on your website up to date. You can create different versions of the same project. You work on it on the side, and then you upload it and merge it with the original work. So in terms of handling your files, GitHub will be your cloud hosting platform where your files are in the platform. Git helps you handle the same files locally on your laptop. So basically, in summary, while creating a repository, because that's the first step you need to pick a name. You can place a description, which is, for example, here I just use this is my first repository as a software developer. You can pick a description, it's optional. A README file is actually very important because it will tell others what is this project about. If you're creating a website, you can format it the way you want so that when somebody is visiting that project on your GitHub, if it is open source, people can see what you're doing. So the end result in that in my case, you can see, let me use the pointer. Yeah, you can see the name of the repository, the properties, is it public or private, the README file. Normally the extension MD stands for Markdown. It's the format in which you're supposed to be writing down whatever is in the README file. That one will be handled on a separate session, or you can try on your own. And then the description that I put is here. And then basically this is how the page will look like at home. So I've talked about Git, how it helps you manage your files from your local machine, and it helps you make sure that whatever you're working on is up to date with whatever you're storing on GitHub. Git also helps you to access all the changes you've ever made to your project. You made a mistake, you deleted a file, or you changed something about your project entirely. You can access the previous versions even if they are already deleted on your laptop or on your local machine. And it actually works very flawlessly, although there are other version control platforms, but Git I think is the most popular. So after you make any changes on your laptop, and then using your command line, you can push the changes to GitHub so that GitHub now hosts your files. So in order for you to know how to use Git, you need to know how to use the command line. And when I'm talking about command line, I'm usually mentioning either a terminal on your MacBook or your Linux computer, or the command prompt. This basically gives you a lot of freedom in terms of managing your files. And this is where you'll need to install Git and make changes to your files. Git it will help you work with the text file, because most of the code anyway it's text, although images and PDFs might need more advanced knowledge in terms of handling the files, how you're going to upload them to GitHub and all that. So what I've been talking about using Git and GitHub in software development, they're actually very important in your life as a software developer. They work, as I've mentioned, they work very flawlessly in terms of organizing a project, working with others. In later sessions, or if someone is interested, you can learn how to collaborate with someone so that you're working on the same file, you're working on a different segment of the same project. You create a branch on the side, you make your changes, you merge it with the main project, and then you can show your colleagues who you're working with. GitHub also makes it easier for you to access documentation. Basically, documentation is somebody came up with a project or even a new programming language, and they want you to know how to use it. Usually they will provide the documentation for that, from basics to advanced, how to create a file, how to handle various for example, loops, how to handle files, how to handle memory allocation and all that. Most of that information is stored in GitHub, so that you can just search on your Google search bar and then you get the information. Any project, there are very popular objects. You find that the code is open source, everyone can access it. You can go, you can copy the code, you try and work on it from your end. What Makini was mentioning, learning how to Google. I think there's a term for it, Google foo, because it's actually very, very important. You need to know where to Google, you need to know how to use Stack Overflow. Actually, I didn't include the slides for Stack Overflow, but you need to create an account with Stack Overflow, because basically when you're working on a project, for example, or you're trying to solve a problem, there's 100% chance somebody has met the same problem before. They asked for help on Stack Overflow, somebody provided help, and it's publicly available for you. So that's why even Makini was mentioning that most of the information you need is online, because you might have the skill, you know how to organize your work, your algorithm, but there's some problems that even the best of software developers at some point, they met these problems and they tried to solve them. They asked the question on Stack Overflow, they got help. As far as 2005, you're still facing the same problem now, you'll still find the answer, and it still be helpful. And also GitHub is very important for showcasing whatever you've been working on. You try to build a website, you try to build an app or a web app, or you tried anything with friends, or you're working on you are learning, for example, and then along your learning, you're uploading various projects that you are doing. It's very important, because if you want to tell someone you have been coding, they'd want to know what have you been working on. And for you to show them, the information is publicly available on GitHub. And then you can use whatever projects you are doing. It's very, very easy to integrate it with the powerful cloud services offered by Google or Azure, like the one Makini is working with, or Amazon Web Services. Lastly, I'm going to mention something about GitHub, I think, about Discord. We need people to be active, because I think only 4 or 5 of us are usually talking there. And you can literally ask anything. You can decide to be anonymous. You can use a cartoon name or a singer or a profile picture. No one. If that's the problem, it's very easy to collaborate, because Discord incorporates features from almost all other social media platforms. You can literally play games while there. You can listen to music together while there. You integrate your streaming platforms. Everybody gets to listen while you code together. You can get advice on your code. You just post your code there. Somebody comes and helps you while you're getting stuck. You can find information regarding websites that are important in maybe building your skills or learning from scratch. Do not be afraid to ask any questions. You can be as anonymous as you want, as I've mentioned. Anytime you need help and you want to approach someone who is in charge, just look at the member list and try to find anyone whose name is in orange. For example, I just took this screenshot a few minutes ago, like 20 minutes ago. You can see it's only me and Makini and a few people talking to ourselves, but you can see Makini's name and mine are in orange. So if you can't reach us publicly, you can just send a private message. I think I'll move to Discord itself so that I take you through some of the things. Can you guys hear me ama nimekuwa naongea peke yangu?
Can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, a few people are joining actually. You can see this guy AV007 is joining the server. What you are looking at on the left, where my mouse is, these are channels. All of these are channels inside the community. Basically, the channels have been divided based on their function. You have any community on Discord will have maybe where you can find the rules. You can find people who joined before you joining. Most of you have interacted with this. Announcements, like the announcement for this session was made. Victor also shared a resource for us to go through before the session. Generally, you can say anything actually. Like Victor, for example, was also sharing a YouTube link to Introduction to Programming and Computer Science. For events, ideas and feedback, anything. If you need another channel created here, you can also mention it so that we create it. For those of us who are working on projects, for example, you need help, you can just type it here and then you get help. Somebody might have gone through what you're going through at the moment, and they know how to circumvent the project you're working on. There are also voice channels. Here you can hop onto a call, you talk with other people, you can stream music with others, and then I think there's a bot for that somewhere. You can also send memes. Makini loves this channel. Or fun facts, anything you want to share in the Discord community. It's actually very open. Yeah, I think that's Makini is typing just now because it's the channel I was talking about where it's only the two of us who are talking to each other. Yeah, but yeah, that's basically an introduction to Discord community. Feel free to type anywhere based on the relevance. You want to post a meme, for example, for people to laugh, just come and post it here, or a fun fact, or you have useful resources that you want other people to use. You have videos that maybe somebody might go through in order to circumvent a certain problem, just come and post. Yeah, let me go back to my presentation in case anyone has a question.
Thank you. I think that was an amazing presentation. It was straight to the point and very informative. I think we'll just move to the next one, Victor, so that we collect questions at the end. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you so much. Victor, please take over.
Sure.
Alafu, everyone on board, thanks for joining. Sorry for interrupting. Thanks for joining. I hope the session is amazing. You can type in the chats and say something, ask a question, so you're free to be part of the community. Victor.
Can you confirm that my screen is visible and that I'm audible? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we're not seeing the presentation.
Oh, okay. Let me give it some time to load. Now?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Viktor Baraza. I am a level 4 MBCHP student, Wechuli's classmate. Here is an image of me looking goofy, and yeah, I believe everyone in this country should learn how to program a computer because it teaches you how to think. Yeah. So we'll move forward so that you know about me. I'm from Mombasa. When I'm not trying to save lives in Kenyatta, I usually play rugby or I'm coding. So that's a brief history about me. Let's go to the next slide. So I want to make this presentation short and sweet so that it's memorable for everyone, and you can learn even by yourself as you go on forward. And there's some philosophy I'd like us to guide us through this conversation. One is you learn best by doing, putting in the work and getting your hands dirty. Two is we are building a community which is called AMSUN Code. Everyone is welcome, even if you've never touched or seen a computer before. All I'll be presenting is simple, and you can even reach the levels of mastery when you apply whatever I'll be teaching you. I've simplified around 3 courses, 2 books, and like 15 articles. So I got you all sorted on this. And programming is an art, not just code and syntax. It involves people, and this makes it like human. So let's go next. So one thing you might be asking yourself right now is, what is programming or what is coding? Yeah. Makini, can you tell me how much time we have so that I know if you'll do the exercise?
Maybe you have 20 most minutes.
Okay.
But you can do your exercise, yeah.
So I'd like you guys, if you have a pen or paper, you can try and write down individual steps you'll take to call a friend. Take 3 minutes. The slide has written 5 to 10, but you don't have the time. People like Makini will have to watch the game. Yeah. So I'll give you guys till 3:19. You can just write it. So this is a brief exercise to show you what programming or coding is about. Don't worry about making mistakes or being right or being perfect. Just write whatever you think, whatever is in your mind. So you have 2 minutes left to do the exercise. If you haven't written the exercise, it's just write instructions that you'll take to call your friend or family. One minute remaining. Okay. Just write whatever you think. Don't overthink. Okay, 3 minutes are over. So, how did you do? If you had the time, I would like guys to read out their steps so that we see what you wrote and what about. Yeah, and actually all my slides are black. Black is my favorite color. I thought maybe I should share that with you guys. So, talking to a computer programming is like giving instructions to a computer. And check out your instructions. Did you write, was the first instruction, get your phone? Because if you don't have a phone, you cannot call. And which type of phone was it? Was it a landline? Was it a smartphone? Was it a feature phone? And did you check if it was powered on, or you just called? Because you cannot call somebody with a phone with a dead battery. And since we have smartphones, we know there are various applications you can use to make a phone call. You can make a phone call through Discord. You can make a phone call using the normal phone app. You can make a phone call using WhatsApp or Telegram. So did you write which application you're using? Did you unlock your phone or your phone is open? Yeah. And You just select the phone icon or contacts of your favorites, and etc. So basically, okay, this is skip. Basically, writing instructions to the computer is like writing instructions to yourself. And you should imagine the computer being like a friend who is not as smart as you are. If time would allow, we would have seen a video here demonstrating how precise instructions should be. For a computer, you have to state the precise instruction. It cannot understand maybe jokes, sarcasm, or short forms of words. You have to write directly what you want to say to it. As you've seen here, a program is essentially a list of commands or instructions that a computer follows in a sequence. So that's it. I'll be a bit rushy so that we keep time. Who should learn to code? Yeah, I know most of our attendees right now here are medical students, and some are not. So maybe you're thinking of the innovative companies right now doing innovative stuff, cool things. Johnson & Johnson, Tawi Health, World Health Organization, John Hopkins, CVS Health, Pfizer. I included one here, which is not actually like an innovative hospital, but it's from a movie. Thought it would be fun having it here. So maybe you're thinking of getting a job as McKinney was saying, working in some of these companies. Having software or coding skills will give you an edge above your peers, or even you can decide to change careers. Who knows? Maybe you think software engineering is a better alternative. So why should you learn coding? Coding enables you to develop critical thinking skills, creative problem solving skills. You improve your logical and reasoning and computational thinking, and you learn how to collaborate and communicate with team members, as it's a team sport. Coding is not about what you saw in movies, somebody in a bunker or in his own dorm or cellar, in a dark place, just typing or hitting the keyboard. Coding right now is a communal thing. There's an aspect of humanity in it, so you have to collaborate with everyone. And it challenges you and teaches you persistence and resilience. And furthermore, it's important for the future. So programming develops critical thinking and creative problem solving skills. And it's important to learn because computer programming teaches you how to experiment and gives you the confidence to be creative. Using software, you can mimic anything in real life. You can even create an imaginary person or imaginary car, real life. You can simulate anything literally using software. And right now you can see the Facebook called Meta, and they want to create a virtual reality. So the possibilities of what you can do with coding skills are beyond, they're infinite. Yeah. So right now here, I'm taking you guys through the steps of problem solving, because if you are to take one thing away from all this presentation today, I'd like you to learn about problem solving, because coding or software engineering, I'll use software engineering because I'm using it a lot. So software engineering, programming, coding, it's almost the same thing, but software engineers think they solve problems. Programmer or coder is somebody who's just limited to one language, say Python, C, Java, JavaScript. Yeah. But I want you guys to learn to think like software engineers. So the key at the core of all this is problem solving, and how you solve problems are these 4 steps. I got this from a book called Problem Solving 101 by Ken Watanabe, and it's like the gold standard of problem solving in the business world, in everywhere, in all fields. So the first step is understanding the current situation, identify the root cause of the problem, develop an effective action plan, and execute until the problem is solved, making modifications as necessary. I'll send the slides, so don't worry about this. And one mindset you should have while learning how to code is something called growth mindset. Maybe you've heard it from Carol Dweck or Angela Duckworth. Coding is a frustrating part, but it's quite very reliable and enjoyable and rewarding. As McKinney said, if you want the money, you can go for the money. There's no shame in that, but yeah, it's really rewarding. If you master the skill, you can make some good amount of money. So one skill you need to learn is growth mindset. This is belief that you can learn anything and you can get better with struggle. So there's the opposite of that is a fixed mindset where somebody thinks that skills and knowledge are stagnant. You're born with what you're born, and if you are smart, you're smart. If you're stupid or you're dumb, you're dumb. I believe here we have smart people, and yeah, you should embrace to have a growth mindset and grit. So one of the core tendencies of that is skills are built and you can learn and grow, and you focus is getting better, not performance or looking good, because you struggle a lot. I still struggle even while doing coding. One key ingredients to growth are having appreciating the effort in anything, even medicine, whatever career path you are in. You have to put in effort to become better at it, and you should embrace challenges as they are an opportunity to become better, and also use the mistakes to learn, and correct them so you become better. And you should also appreciate feedback, lots of feedback. Every day, as you do everything, just seek feedback. Yeah. Okay. As you're trying to do the coding or problem solving, there are steps here. I'll just rush through them, but I'll send you the slides. One thing you should learn, I got this from credits from ALX, program by Africa Leadership University. Yeah. So you should read everything about whatever you're learning. Maybe it's manual pages, documentation, books, and articles too. You can learn a lot from that. Then when trying to solve your problem, you should pause, take a breath, think of a solution, understand all the required concepts and algorithms before you proceed to solve problems. If algorithm is a new concept to you, don't worry, I'll explain it as you go forward. The other thing is do not write any piece of code until you have the solution in mind. Yeah? And try breaking things down. Break down the problem so that they're easier to manage. You should, before writing the code, you should think more, whiteboard. You should whiteboard, like whiteboarding is just writing your solutions either in pen on paper or just notepad. Write it in words, then ask yourself why when the code does not run, or think about the inputs and outputs that you expect. So sometimes you might run into errors. Don't worry about it. If you still don't understand why it doesn't work, most of the time the answer is in the error message. You can learn a lot from the error message. And as Wechuli and McKinney said, Google is your best friend. In software engineering and coding, everyone Googles. Like Google is there's something called Google University or Google Foo. Yeah, you should go to Google anytime, every time, any day. Yeah. But one caveat is never trust the internet. There's a lot of content on the internet that is wrong or incomplete. If you copy code from the internet, you should learn why it works or why it does not work. Don't just copy any code on GitHub or Stack Overflow. Learn why it works or it doesn't work. So if you don't find the answer, Google again, try to rephrase the question or search in another way. Try searching specific things. And if that doesn't work, ask your peer. As you've seen, you have a Discord channel. Text anyone in the orange name, McKinney, Wechuli, or me. We can assist you with whatever challenges you have. And make sure you ask for help. There is no shame in struggling. Actually, software engineering and coding is hard. And it's not for, okay, it's for everyone, but you'll struggle before you get it. I won't tell you it's easy. So if you're asking for help, you should follow like a guideline. You should explain the problem, what you tried, and give as much context as possible to help the person who you're asking help for to assist you. And people out here in the software engineering field are ruthless. Let me not lie to you. I once had a problem and I went there. I didn't know how to ask for help. And yeah, I got some character development in quotes from these guys. So you should know what you're searching for before you go ask for help. And yeah, why should you learn to code? Challenges, because of challenges, and it teaches you persistence and resilience. Medics should learn to code because they develop the ability to bounce back after failure. You learn to become resilient. I know in the medical field, there's no enough room for mistakes, but in software engineering, we encourage mistakes. Actually, you told to one quote that Mark Zuckerberg uses is, fail fast, fail often, and fail earlier. Yeah. So failure is really impressed in this side, and these concepts are important for student doctors to learn, not just when learning to code, but to have as everyday skills to use throughout their lives. So whatever you learn here, it will teaches you how to think, as the first quote in the beginning of the slides were. And coding is not just for computer science students, coding is for everyone. And it's just as important. The more you learn while you're young, the better, and it sets you up for success in the future. So where do we start? Hope everyone is with me. So in learning to code, I won't write any code, but I'll give you the gold standard framework to learn to code. If you are to quit med school, go to Google, this is what you'd use. The framework, how to learn to code, and dealing with frustration. So in learning anything, especially in technology or coding, there's some things that you'll have to, let me find a marker. Right, the pointer. So there are some things you'll have to know. So there are fundamentals, information, skills, curation, support, certification, and expertise. Most people you see out here are leveraging on certification. Guys have a lot of certifications from Google, everywhere. But what you need here are skills. Yeah, skills are what matter more. I know even if you're doing it as a hobby, you need skills. And where will you find the skills? You find the skills by having fundamentals first. See, like in medicine, you started it first year. The preclinicals were taught about microbe, physiology, anatomy. Even here, you need the fundamentals and information. Fundamentals, you get them from courses, online courses, and books. So fundamentals and information are quite different. You might think they're the same. Information are just specific things, let's say about Python, something like how to create a loop in Python. That is specific information. But fundamentals is just loops. They are either in Python, C, Java, Scala, all types of languages use that. Once you master the fundamentals, you can easily get the information. And after getting the fundamentals and information, using the resources that you provide, you go on to use the skills to use the information to gain skills. How you gain skills are solving problems, coding, practicing 30 minutes a day, being consistent, solving questions of other people, maybe Stack Overflow and other networks. And from that, here we come to curation. Curation actually is how information is ordered. So I'll give you guys an example. Curation is you get it from textbooks, or books or courses. So they keep the things in order. So you start with from variables and maybe loops. Then you go to algorithms so that you go to the complex stuff. You can't go to the complex stuff when you don't have the fundamentals. So that's about curation, the order in which you learn the things. Support is about the community and people you can find help from. In school, you can get support from your fellow peers or lecturers. Here in school, I've never seen office hours, but in software engineering, there's something called office hours where you can ask any question you have on any topic. Yeah. Then certification, as I talked about it, is just getting certified that you learned something. You can get this from Google, Coursera, Andela, maybe Udemy, Udacity, and even Khan Academy. They teach software engineering too. Expertise here, you won't need it as much, but if you want, it's good for you. It's the equivalent of a BSc in software or coding. So here is when you've mastered everything and now you just know excess information, but it's never beneficial. To become an expert, you have to ask and answer questions, write articles, blogs, attend conferences, give talks. Yeah, you can achieve expertise. It's a good thing, but the amount of effort and ROI to it, I might advise not to. Just get the fundamentals, know how to code. Then here is a learning part of how you'll attain the skills. First, you attain the fundamentals, then you go to the information. So once you have the fundamentals, you can understand the information specific to a technology. Then by using that information, you gain the skills to use it in other fields, maybe in medicine, create an algorithm to diagnose an illness, and you can even innovate. Yeah. So if you don't have skills, you can be like cramming or reading all the courses in the world, but you can't do anything. You can be as this doctor here, who says he just watch a YouTube video and a surgery. Like, will you allow a doctor who learned through YouTube to treat you? Yeah, it can't happen. So, learning how to code. So this is just how to learn, because for me, I struggled a lot while learning how to code and software engineering. So I thought I should give you guys this skill. You can use it anywhere, even in medicine. So the first one is active recall, spaced learning, elaboration, reflection, and there's miscellaneous. I've highlighted practice because practice is what will help you master the skills, nothing else. You can do all the courses in the world, but until you write a line of code is when you'll understand it. So active recall, for this, you can read a section, maybe learn on documentation or a book, close the book, and on a blank piece of paper, try to recall what you read. Write it in your own words, yeah? So after that, verify, check if it's the same to what you learned. It has a name out here. I think it's called Feynman technique. Whatever you call it, just use this, and it helps you master the skill, all the information, the fundamentals of what you're learning. Number 2 is spaced learning. So here you can do active coding for 30 minutes daily. This is attainable for medics who have busy time and schedule. And this is active coding, not studying or doing courses or YouTube. Here is when you write code for 30 minutes, debug, do whatever, but 30 minutes is enough. And prioritize consistency. If it's once a week, it's okay. If it's twice a week, that's okay. So long as you're consistent, yeah? Choose whatever works for you. And the other thing is elaboration. In elaboration, this is quite wordy, but in summary, it's what's explaining things to yourself. So if you read something, an article, especially the documentation, because they're really technical and they also struggle to death to how to read documentation. And even people who did computer science, most of them are Google coders, and they don't read documentation. So if you do documentation, you'll be above them or above average. So you should learn what are the key concepts you're learning. What does it remind you that you know in the domain of knowledge? So this is software engineering or coding. Does it remind you of anything in another domain of knowledge? Maybe it relates to something to medicine. You can link them together. What other things do you know that support the concept? So you ask yourself the same question so that you know, it helps you understand this. You can think of anything else that contradicts the concept. So learning, like contrasting information, helps you solidify the information in your brain. You can ask yourself, how challenging is it for you to comprehend the information? This helps you to be truthful to yourself. If you don't understand it, ask somebody. Don't lie to yourself. You're trying to read something for an hour and you're not understanding it. Ask somebody, be it in medicine or software engineering. If this is a what, can you explain the why? So understand things to the intricacies. Then, do you find it interesting? Do you find it surprising? And how can you apply it in the real world? Because of time, I'll rush through these things. The other thing is, in the framework, you should do some reflection. I forgot to change this. So reflection, you should ask yourself, did you achieve the goals that you wanted to achieve while doing the coding or learning the software engineering? What are the important concept, factors, and ideas that you've discovered and learned? Ask yourself, did you solve the problem or the task, or did you reach your goal? And what ideas are good, what are bad? Would you make revisions or changes if you do it again? And how could your activity and manner in which you approach or solve the problem be important to a real life situation? So you want to learn how you can apply software engineering to solve some of the challenges. I know most of you came here to save lives. You can also save lives through this way. Here, as you undertake this course of learning coding and programming, you will face challenges, and this is not a matter of if you will face challenges. You will face challenges. It's there. Everyone passed through it, and everyone still faces challenges. So when facing new challenges, frustration can be a natural side effect, but afterwards, there's often a rewarding sense of accomplishment after achieving your goals. So plan things on your day to relieve the stress and frustration. Maybe it's exercise, gaming, Call of Duty, or whatever, Candy Crush, chat with a good friend, watch the next episode of Grey's Anatomy, Good Doctor, House MD, Doctor Strange, or Iron Man. Then come back and do whatever you are doing. Miscellaneous, okay. So here, I wanted to tell you, some guys prefer learning to code or coding with music. Others don't. I don't prefer using music because I end up listening to music rather than studying or coding. You can join communities like AMSUN Code Community. There is Atlassian, there is Python Kenya, Artificial Intelligence Kenya, and you build your passion projects. Maybe it's an electronic medical record system that you're creating, or an enterprise system for a shop, a kiosk in your home. You can do your passion projects, which helps solidify the learning. Okay, I'll teach you guys like the basic concepts that you need in this, and I'll rush through because of the time. Apologies for that. So the first one, the basic concepts are basically algorithms, sequence, loops, decomposition, branching, and debugging. So algorithms, as I said, are just instructions to the computer, and the computer follows the instructions in order. So you should imagine you're explaining algorithm to kids and in your own language, yeah? So an instruction is like, how do you wash your utensils? We could do an exercise here, but what really needed to convey here is that you have to do it in order. You cannot have clean utensils, then wash them, then dirty. So obviously you start with the dirty ones, then you wash them, then they're clean. So basically they follow a sequence. So algorithms, a simple way to create algorithms is to read the task or challenge, refresh it in your own words, verify the expected behavior by example inputs and outputs, whiteboard the solution with your words, and walk through your solution as if you are the machine. After that, whiteboard the solution with pseudocode. Pseudocode is like code, but in English. Then after that, walk through the solution as if you're the computer. Then whiteboard your solution with code. So you've seen here, we have not used code in the beginning, use simple words. This helps you to understand the logic of what you're solving. Then write code on your computer. This is the end. Test your code and debug if necessary. The other concept is loops. Loops basically is just repetition of stuff. You can repeat something again and again. So here we have for loops, while loops, do or while loops. I'll go to the intricacies, but because of time, again, apologies. So loops are basically repetition of activities or tasks. So an example is going to school from home. So basically, everyone here, I assume, is a student. So obviously, you usually go to school. After school, you go back home. So this is an example of a loop. Example steps may be walk out of the house, go to the matatu terminus, wait for the mat, get on the mat, arrive at school, walk to the library. After that, go home, repeat. So this is an example of a loop. So here are examples of loops, but we'll pass through them. So the other thing is decomposition. Decomposition means breaking down problems to manageable steps. In software engineering and coding or problem solving, you need to break down your problems. So the other thing, okay, basically that's breaking down problems. Branching means a break from the normal. So let's say you had the sequence of going to school. What if this is a daily routine? Let's say this is a daily routine. You wake up, you shower, get dressed, brush your teeth, get breakfast, go to school, then come home from school, call family, have dinner, read a book, and go to bed. What if there's a break from that? So branching is, let's say, on Wednesday you have discussions after class. So that's a branching. So you have to go to discussions, then go back to home. So that breaks the sequence here. So maybe after school you go to discussion, then come back home. Maybe you have on Saturday you're attending a Rotaract fellowship or you're in CU. So you to the branch, then you'll come back home. So that's just an example of a branch. You'll have done an exercise. Then debugging. Debugging is an important skill for all of you to have. This is fixing bugs in your code. A bug is an error, just a fancy name for an error. The name came from Harvard, I think. So these guys, during that time, they had these big machines. They had lots of cables, and there was some problem with the machine, the working of the machine. So when these guys went into the machine to check what had happened, they realized there was a bug insect in the cables. So that's how the name came from. And since then, people have been using the name debugging. Okay, review. So here, we'll review some of the things that we are doing. As we discussed, sorry if you hear noise from my end. We discussed the basics of programming, some tips on learning how to code. and a few examples to enforce coding concepts. All of these coding concepts are important for student doctors to learn, not just learning to code, but everyday skills to have. In summary, my name is Viktor Kenneth Baraza. I'm a level 4 MBCHP student. I'm the CEO and the founder of Tawi Health. You saw it in the previous slide. And here's my email, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn at Viktor Kenneth. Okay, so I'll rush you guys through what is it called? VS Code. I'll have to share my screen again. I'm sorry. So VS Code basically is a software that we use in coding. It's a platform. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Still in the previous.
Oh, okay. I think I'll have to end it first. So apologies for rushing through all this. Not the guys who need to watch football. I'll send the slides for everyone who would like to see it. So let me give it another try. Wechuli, can you confirm it's sharing?
Not yet. It's still in the previous, or maybe presentation, and then you start
Can
again.
Okay. Oh. It's still on the previous screen, right?
Hi, Victor.
Hi. Okay. I think my PC is working out. So what I'll advise you guys is, I've showed you all the basics of coding and programming. So the next thing you have to do is download VS Code from Google or Chrome, whichever you use. Then after downloading it, you just open and write some code. It's just simple as that. Because you can write in any language. I don't want to restrict all of you guys in any simple language, but whatever, with the fundamentals I've given you, you can learn anything basically. Whatever.
Hi, Victor.
Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
In the interest of time, and since you can't share your screen,
Yeah,
I can go through it in just a minute. So
yeah,
let me just
sure.
share my screen. And
Do that.
okay. So it's so quick. Let me see. You guys can see my screen.
Okay.
No.
Just a minute.
Victor, can you end your recording? You can still see it. I think that's the problem.
What about now? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but presentation.
But you can't see my screen. Eh?
Yeah.
Maybe try ending the presentation. Victor.
Yeah.
Let me share again.
Try ending the presentation, the PowerPoint.
Please end your presentation. Victor, can you please try from your side to end your presentation? Okay. Let me see.
Left. It's still showing.
Yeah, just log out and join in. Okay.
Okay. Can you override it?
No, I can't. Just log out completely and rejoin.
Oh.
Oh, amazing.
Because
it's gone. So you guys can see my screen.
Okay, now try share yours because we can only see each other.
Okay. Oh. Okay. I think we can maybe carry this session to the next one if this doesn't work.
I can see the screen now.
Okay, amazing. You can hear me and see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So just what Victor was talking about is VS Code, and you can see just it's a Microsoft product. So you just download it if you Google VS Code, and this is a sample working space for VS Code. So you can see on this side, this is my code, and this is the space for writing code. This is the terminal. It's an IDE, integrated development environment. So you can see this is my terminal. For example, let me just start a program. Okay. Sawa. Let's see. Okay. So like this one is the website we did for class of 2021. You can see students, the videos students have done. There are comments from students. So basically, it allows you to work on your code. And then more about VS Code, I think we will share a link to the Discord community where people can really access it well. And then GitHub. So GitHub, this is my GitHub, for example. Eugene, confirm you can see my screen.
Okay, yeah, now I can see it.
You can hear me. Can you?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Where is it? So for example, so these are your repos. So these are the projects you've worked on, and you can see I have like 36 projects I've worked on, and so you can store your code, and you can even run your links from the GitHub. For example, this one is just a program for disabled people. They can play music just using their motions. Let me pick a simple thing here. Let me see. Loeffler McDermott Holmes. like this website for Women Association in Surgery. So just click on the link and you go to the website. It's loading. Okay, this is class of 2021. Yeah, so you can see. Yeah, so such a thing. Yeah, so there are many more. And the thing about this one, you can do collaborations. For example, there's a project you're working on, and it's a project you're working on. It's a long-term project, so there are people on board and everything. So that's it. Basically, about Microsoft, these are the products. A lot of products from Microsoft. People usually know Word, Excel, they know PowerPoint, but there are a lot of products from Microsoft, like Miro. You can see, you can pick for education, for example, and then you can see the Cement.io. There is Power Automate. My best is Power Automate. I automate everything I do using Power Automate. So like this meeting, you know, it's automatic that at this time it will start, it will record, it will end. Google form, I'll take the form of people who participated, write their certs, I'll send them without doing nothing, like physically. So Power Automate, there are many things concerning Microsoft, and we can link up and see how to collaborate on the same. We'll take a few questions from the chat. Let me see, and also there are questions that were sent on the Discord. No, on the form. Yeah, so that we go do something else. So any question, you can unmute and ask a question from the audience.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it was a wonderful session and everything. For us who want to start to code, what would you advise? Like, because there are a lot of things, or what are the basics that we can start on so that we can build our foundation properly?
Okay, that's a good question. I think I'll start right away to answer it. The basic is to install VS Code of any code editor, have a browser for reviewing your code, and start. So to start, there is the best course we've sampled out of the thousands of courses online. They teach you even how to install VS Code, how to start from scratch, like you walking into a new room knowing nothing. So they show you everything. It's on our Discord. It's called Still, I think. We've shared it there. So that's the best way to start. Also, another way to start is to tag along someone. Tag Eugene, tag Ron Collins is here, also does that. There are many people doing this. There's Lumumba. Tag along someone and let them take you through. That's the best way to start. I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, you have. Thank you so much.
Karibu. Another question. There were no questions on the chat, but there were questions that were raised on the Google form, which included, but not limited to, the fact that how can I be consistent? Someone fears that they won't be consistent in their coding, which is okay. But also, you also want to also look it from a different perspective. What if coding takes away your life? I remember this year I was in 6th year still, but I missed school for 8 weeks because I'd gone for, we were building a project and I wasn't in school and all that. So it might take you away, or school might take you away, either way. So find the balance. Importantly, be consistent. 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. It may sound kidogo, but
getting even those 30 minutes a day may be tricky. So set yourself to 30 minutes and be consistent. It's easy, and don't have a schedule for coding. The love for it grows and becomes better. And then, yeah, you don't have to, schedule from 10:30, just create 30 minutes, even during the bus rides from, main campus to Chiromo. Yeah, just code for 30 minutes during traffic. You have your laptop. I don't know, some phone supports, but there's a software that you have to install. The phones that support Linux. iPads, some, but rarely. I've tried to use an iPad to code, tricky. So anything, but find your 30 minutes a day. Another question was, what drives you to code or learn how to code? And then somebody was asking something about that. Let's see it. At least for me, it's fun. It's fun to create. Unlike medicine, where you are recreating, you are cramming and going and vomiting the same. So the beauty for me is creating something out of nowhere. Commitment issues, that's been addressed, and assistance with learning. Please use the Discord community. That's where people grow. We can't have a WhatsApp group. We can't paste code on WhatsApp. We can't mark up code on WhatsApp. So Discord group, post your code, people will review. Don't fear anyone. Even the best are still learning. Okay, I think the questions have been addressed. The amount of information, that's key. There were roadmaps that were shared on how to start coding. I'll reshare the roadmaps so that you don't learn everything. You don't go to YouTube and find how to create a clone of Instagram and you're there coding along for 8 hours with someone. Don't. So have a learning path and be specific. And then it looks difficult and complicated. No, it's easy. Consistency is key, 30 minutes, even if it's writing one loop. I think the questions have been addressed. I'm just running with time. Fear of losing my privacy. I don't want to be scammed. There's no scamming. See, your code is on GitHub, and if you have your website, okay, there's no fear of scam. I've never seen someone getting scammed, unless you scam someone, because if you know how to code, you can hack a few emails of your classmates and know what they are doing with their girlfriends. Just joking. Understand different ways of interpreting. Okay. Also, can I reach you for assistance? Absolutely, anytime. Anytime, please. Anytime. Okay, curiosity, learn more Python, time management. I think we'll have another session to address these issues. And curiosity, just to expect nothing. What does health code med training balance look like? Looks amazing for me. I've been able to balance and achieve both. How well do the skills complement each other? Oh, this is a good question. You are going to be a doctor, and how are we going to use this? We are going to have another session on the same. We are going to address this and create that link to the market. Personally, the link has been so amazing. It's effortless because now even the projects I'm working on, it's medical related, and yeah, I think we'll have a session on that. We've taken so much of your time. We said 4 p.m. It's 4:03 p.m. 4:04 actually now. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Eugene, for a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Victor, for the amazing presentation. You are talking about the skills people need, the soft skills people need for software. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Ron Collins, I don't know if Lumumba is here. The people who've joined, we really thank you and looking forward to more. There are a lot of things to explore. There are a lot of opportunities. And this builds you how to think, how to learn with people, because medical school has taught us to be selfish, to learn for ourselves, become the best doctor. In software, you become the best for everyone. So any questions? And people also ask about monetary benefits. Absolutely, you become so rich if you are a software engineer and maybe a programmer. Become so rich. yeah, in medical school, we started a company. We've been selling software and doing stuff out here. It's been keeping us some food on the table. So it pays so much, good contracts. Yeah, so any questions before we, Eugene, you can say brief remarks, please, and then Victor.
Yeah, first of all, maybe just to reiterate what Makini has said, any of us are reachable. You can reach us through Discord. You'll just find Victor Kenneth is very conspicuous, or Makini, or you'll see my name Wechuli. So for the basics, I think we have shared some of the resources like Cold Steel and CS50, but still, you know, for somebody who is starting out, it might seem like a bit too much. So for example, what we have gone through today, we have gone through how to use GitHub in your software development career as we are going on. We have gone through the utility of VS Code. You see VS Code supports almost, I think, all the languages available on your local machine. So if you are starting out, you want to know how, if you create this file, you want this file to, for example, loop from number 0 to 10 and count every number that's inside there. Those are some of the projects you start out with as you try and learn the languages. VS Code will help you with that. So anytime you get stuck, just reach any of us on Discord. We might be able to go through a few concepts together, not limited to those issues addressed in the meeting. So that's one thing that I'd like to encourage all of us. Just reach to any one of us. You'll be able to get help if you need resources. You need to learn something. Just reach to any of us. Help with installing maybe the software like VS Code, or maybe you want to know what Linux is, for example. You want to know how to use command prompt or a terminal. Just reach any of us. We might be able to help. We will help, actually. Yeah.
Shukran sana, Kaka. Victor, brief remarks.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Don't know if you can hear me. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. So basically, thank you all of you guys for coming. We've shared the basics on software engineering and programming. Which will showed you how to use GitHub. GitHub is like a file management system. Makini told you about the opportunities, Microsoft ambassadors, student ambassadors. I showed you how to study, how to learn how to code, and even how to create an algorithm. Basically, programming is problem solving. For guys who want to make money, yeah, there's money in coding. Yeah, there's a lot of money. I even have a company called Tawi Digital Health. It's currently a startup and will be launching in 1st of December. So the opportunities are a lot. Even if you want to practice in my company, I can allow you to come and do so because you are working on digital health and artificial intelligence in medicine. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, you guys, for joining in. Don't go to YouTube and do everything on YouTube. Don't go to the tutorial hell. You are coding along and you think you are a software developer. Please, the reason why I started this community is to align everything as smooth as possible for medical students. So stick to the community, learn, and then later we can tell you, hey, it's safe to go to YouTube. But for now, it's tricky. Continue, Sana. It's 4:10 p.m. Ron Collins, please say hi, and then we end.
Yeah, thanks for the session. It was amazing. I've learned a lot, and it's good to see the community growing. I hope we get to do more and more as we continue. Ante.
Yeah, the community is growing. Now we are hitting almost 80. Great. See you guys. Have a great evening and God bless you abundantly. You can leave at your pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.